So this the Chinese TikTokers are exposing the luxury brands left and right, and they're going viral. I'm not sure how many of you watched it. So apparently, all these luxury brands, the Chanel's and Gucci's and whatnot, they make all of their products in China and just attach a label, like once it reaches Europe, and sell it at an exponentially high price. Let's watch some of this. Huh?
From Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap, we do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 euro for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts. Be a luxury rebel, you can shop on Chinese platforms such as Taobao, 1688, Tianmao, Jingdong. You can even go directly to Guangzhou, Yiwu, Quanzhou, Wenzhou to buy. Don't know how to buy, how to pay, or arrange delivery? Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from.
So that's that. And let's watch another one.
150 from the boutique. The other 300 made by me.
Have you guys seen that TikTok video that the Chinese guy posted about exposing how luxury goods are made? Basically, most of the luxury brands we use every day are made in China, then shipped to Europe and sold to consumers at a premium. A wedding ring that we can buy for $2, they turn it into $2,000. China is the world's largest processing plant. You buy Gucci, 80% is made in China, Prada, 60% is made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, etc. The only difference here is that China sends them to Europe and they put some little label on them that says made in France, made in Italy. It's ridiculous. While people are still criticizing Xianem for being cheap and of poor quality, those expensive and good products that you think are made in France and Italy are actually from China.
It ain't no way we been getting finessed like this, y'all. And China just exposed it all. So boom, Americans out here dropping 800, 1200, and even 4,000 and more on designer clothes, thinking it's all luxury, all high quality clothes, the high end stuff. But China just pulled the curtain back and showed the world that most of the stuff is made in the same factories with material that costs a fraction of the price. So we're talking shoes that cost $30 to make, but it's being sold in US for $700. And we're talking hoodies that cost $10 to make, that's being sold for over $300. And jeans that cost $50 to make, that's being sold for $500 to $1,000. That's not high end. That's robbery. Y'all, and this is the crazy thing. This is not even new. A lot of people just been blind to it. They think it just because it got a fancy label.
That is true. See, I don't buy luxury brands. I don't think. First of all, I can't afford it. I'm not rich or anything. But I buy fragrances made by these designer brands, like this, Dior or Chanel's or whatever. I'm not sure if they are also made in China. See, first of all, I don't know if how far this is true. It could be not. But I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. And even with the fragrances, I don't know if it says made in France. Some say made in, wherever, Italy or whatever. With Armani fragrances, but you never know. Like fragrance is a little bit different when it comes to these clothes. But I wouldn't be surprised if even fragrances are made in China. See, but the reason why I'm saying is I know, because I'm from a country, I'm from India, but all these Western countries have this idea that, countries like India and China, like they're developing third world countries. That is, that I'm not denying that, like, it is true that we are still a developing country, but if you go to India, you'll realize that some of the poorest people live side by side to some of the richest people in the world, like billionaires I'm talking about, right? So you go to Mumbai, you see this Southwest Mumbai luxury apartments where these billionaires, Ambanis and whatnot, they live. They are like some of the top 10 billionaires in the world, right? They live right next to the world's biggest slum, what they call it, I forgot what it's called, right? So the Eastern countries are like this, typical. This is a very typical Eastern thing. I don't think Westerners would ever understand it. Like it is like that. So you can't you can't like blanket term such countries, and then like you can call them what you want, like developing or whatever, but there's no denying the fact that some of these people, some of the richest people in the world, right? I'm saying it is like it's a mix of how do I even say this? I've always had this idea, right? Like, though I know there's a lot of made in China products that are like cheap, and there's this general idea that made in China is cheap. I do know that they have a luxury, a side of China, as well as they also have like, it depends on what brand you buy, I think, because of this. Have you seen the series, the Chinese series, like Speed is like touring China right now, na? You see the kind of series. I don't think the kind of skyscrapers and the architecture and the whole vibe you would find in even the most developed countries in the Western world. It's like, just because it's closed to the outside world, I think we are not getting to see what actual China is like. I'm not saying there are no poor people in China or whatever, like there are no cheap brands that come out of China or nothing like that, but I'm saying like it's not always like that. China obviously, uh, some of the most advanced cities in the world, like Shanghai and Beijing, these are all like in China, right? Like, what do you think? How do you think? Like, have you seen the pictures of Shanghai? Uh, so I'm not actually surprised or shocked. I really feel funny. What how what this is going to do to the general consumer who believes that these are. See, I'll tell you another example. I know this because I had a classmate, right? Back, this was in the early 2000s, like when I was in college. And so there was this classmate of mine who used to buy material, clothing material, like pant material and shirt material, and he would stitch it at his a local tailor. And then he would go to the Ritchie Street. I'm from Chennai, so I think if you guys are from Chennai, you know what I'm talking about. Like, and he would get these labels, like these luxury label. I mean, Louis not like luxury. I mean, it's like, for example, like we have in India these brands called Louis Philippe and Alan Solly. No, so he has contacts. You know what I mean? And he would get these labels and then walk around as if he's wearing a Louis Philippe, shirt or pants. So I've seen that, and and I and India is also one of those countries where we export a lot of this kind of stuff now. So there's this. city in the south. I think it's called Erode. Coimbatore, it's where they do a lot of export. And then there's Bangladesh. They do a lot of this as well. You see a lot of shirts, t-shirts, and then it's made in Bangladesh and made in India, right? So India also does a lot of this stuff. But and then so you can't say like, oh, made in India is cheap. You also, like, on the one hand there would be that side as well, on the other hand there would be the other side as well. So, but I'm more um it's about, like, if this is what they're doing, right? Imagine the lack of ethics, and there's no heart. Like this, you're doing some business, like you're supposed to have some kind of principle, like ethic, imagine, like, these guys, these companies are making it for, like, maybe paying $1,000, and then they're selling it for, like, as they mentioned, like, $25,000. I don't even know how much these luxury brands, whatever, cost, right? Imagine the lack of ethics and lack of heart in that kind of mm. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, truth, you know hmm. People are waking up, huh?